Salesforce is cutting 10% of its personnel and reducing some office space as part of a restructuring plan, the company announced Wednesday. The company employed more than 79,000 workers as of December. In a letter to employees, co-CEO Mark Benioff said customers have been more measured in their purchasing decisions given the challenging macroeconomic environment, which led Salesforce to make the very difficult decision to lay off workers. "I've been thinking a lot about how we came to this moment. As our revenue accelerated through the pandemic, we hired too many people leading into this economic downturn we're now facing, and I take responsibility for that." Salesforce will record charges of $1.0 billion to $1.4 billion related to the headcount reductions, and $450 million to $650 million related to the office space reductions, the company said. Shares of Salesforce were up nearly 3% on Wednesday. Analysts led by Brent Bracelin at Piper Sandler, who have the equivalent of a buy rating on Salesforce stock, estimated in a note to clients that the cuts could lower operating expenses by $1 billion or more each year and widen the company's operating margin to 26% from 21%. That calculation assumes that demand drivers remain intact, which is unlikely, the analysts wrote. The company is eager to become more profitable through more efficient spending. In September, Salesforce management called for a 25% adjusted operating margin in the 2026 fiscal year, compared with 22% in the quarter that ended on October 31st. The cuts mark the latest round of departures at the cloud-based software company, the largest private employer in San Francisco. The company let go of fewer than 1,000 employees in November. Later that month, Bret Taylor announced his plan to step down as co-CEO on January 31st, leaving Mark Benioff alone again at the top of the company he co-founded in 1999. In the 3 trading days after the Taylor news landed alongside Salesforce's third quarter earnings report, the stock had 2 of its 3 worst days of 2022, plunging 8.3% and 7.4%, respectively. Days later, the company announced the departure of Slack CEO Stuart Butterfield, who joined Salesforce as part of its biggest acquisition ever. Salesforce hired aggressively during the pandemic. It said in a December filing that headcount had risen 32% since October 2021 to meet the higher demand for services from our customers. Now, like many other major tech companies, Salesforce is looking to cut costs as it contends with slowing revenue growth and a weakening economy.